Welcome. In today's video we are going to be doing a level 3 job on the game Greyhack using the tool exploiter. So we're going to be doing this find and delete remote file. Alright, let's get started. So we're going to accept, we're going to go to our email, we're going to copy that down, we're going to nmap it first. Looks like we got an open port on 80, 192.68.14.7 is what we're looking for, but it's not the open port. So what we're going to do is we're going to attack the router. We're going to scan the router. We don't have to put the 0. You can if you want. It looks like we got a bounce, but we did not get a shell. So that's okay, but because we can get a shell on 80. So let's go ahead and scan 80. Looks like we got a shell on 5, so we're going to go ahead and jump 5. That's going to go ahead and give us a root shell on this computer here. And that's fine because we want this computer over here, 192.168.14.7. And if you remember, we got a nice bounce over here. So what we're going to do is we are going to lock this target up here, find our bounce. We're going to lock 2. We're going to go lock 2. Then we're going to delete all the rest. So it's just going to kind of clean everything up. So now we're left with our shell that we're using and the bounce off the router. So we're going to use connected again, like we used in the other video. We're going to go connected, and we got a shell on 2. So we're going to use connected shell on 2, and then our bounce is on 1. So we're going to run that, and just like before, we weren't starting off the router. This time we started off the computer, but we still got our bounce and we still got our computer. 192.68.14.7 right here. So we're number 14. So we're going to use 14. And if you remember, this isn't the same thing as having a shell. We're just able to read the files and stuff. So if you remember, we can print FS here, the file system, and it will show us everything in their file system. So what we want, we got 2 users on here. To make sure we're on the right target or the right computer, we're going to go targets. What that's going to do is it's going to pull up a list of the targets. 192.168.14.7 right here, see? So this is the computer we want. So it looks like we're in the right one. So what do we do now? We need a reverse shell. If you don't have one, not a big deal. Let's go ahead and create one with exploiter. So we're going to go ahead and actually let's create it in a new terminal. So we're going to go create a new terminal, run exploiter. We're going to prepare like we always do, so we can hide behind some computers. Okay, so we're prepared now. So what we want to do is we want to set up our R shell, our reverse shell. So we're going to do, let me move this out of the way so you can see what I'm typing. Service install R shell. Okay. If I could spell right, huh? There we go. That's better. Okay, so we got our R shell set up. So what we want to do next is we want to send the R shell. We want to do files, email. That's going to pull up our email files for the computer victims that we are after. So let's go ahead and crack this one, because we'll be using this person's email. So let's go ahead and pull their email, go ahead and sign in as them, get their password, sign in. We're going to create a new email. We're going to do funny game, and we want to send it to their coworker here that's on the same computer, because we want access to that computer. So we're going to drop that in here. Now we're going to go over here to where we set up our R shell. We're going to copy this address down, drop it in here for the IP. It's going to be 1222. Because if you notice, we go over here and we nmap it after we installed our R shell. If you notice, we have a nice little R shell going here. So we're going to go ahead and send that. They ran it, and they hope it's gory, so let's go ahead and delete that. We don't have to, but I usually do. I mean, why not, right? So we're going to go down here to our R shell, and we're going to run R shell targets, and that is going to give us a list of our targets, and we are looking for 192.168.14.7. That's right here. So we're going to jump one. We're going to chainsaw our way in like we always do. And we're in. So that gives us a nice root shell. And so they are looking for a certain file, right? So we're going to go ahead and corrupt the logs, because we don't really need the logs for anything. So we're going to corrupt logs. Okay, so let's go ahead and open File Explorer. Oh, look at that, we got a admin online. So let's go ahead and check out the chat real quick. Okay, so that's all we need right there. So let's go ahead and close that out. You notice that that active trace stopped real quick, but you know, we corrupted the logs. They're not going to find us. It's okay. And look, so we're going to have to hop onto a new network. So let's go ahead and keep that open. You know, we can always do like this. We can do notepad. And if we want, we can, you know, we can copy that down and put it over here if we want. We don't have to. We can just leave this open. It's not a big deal. So I'm just going to leave that open over here. And we are going to copy that, hopefully. And then we are going to go ahead and scan this. Let's try to scan that again. Alright, let's see. I'm not seeing anything there. Okay, let's try one more time. Okay, so I'm not seeing anything on there. Getting some files, but we're not getting anything on there. So let's go ahead and nmap that and see if we got any open ports on that. We can do the same thing we did on the other one. Let's go ahead and scan 80. So we got a shell right there on 44. So let's go ahead and, we got a root shell on 40. It doesn't matter because chainsaw will get us a root shell on anything. So let's go ahead and jump into 44. Alright. So that gives us a root shell here. So we are in this new network here, and we are looking for this computer right here, 10.0.27. So let's go ahead and see if we can bounce to it. Let's go ahead and bounce. And there we have it. Right here we got a bounce. So here's our computer we're looking for. So we're going to use 26. And just to make sure we're on the right target, we're going to go to targets. So 10.0.27. 10.0.27. So that's the computer we're looking for. Same thing, we're going to files mail, And so here we only have one user on the computer, so we're going to go ahead and open Notepad. We're going to go ahead and paste this here, and we're going to go ahead and bounce to a different computer so we can have an R shell on this particular user. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and bounce. So I'm just going to go ahead and guess. There was a computer on 7, so let's go ahead and maybe guess that maybe there's one on 6. Maybe we'll get a bounce to 6, and look at how lucky we are there. There's one on 6. So let's go ahead and use 26 right there. Use 26, and then we're going to do the same thing. Files mail. Okay, so now we got one user on this one too, so we're going to crack that. We're going to copy that. And over here we got our R shell, right? So if you remember, our R shell is over here on 0. So we're going to jump back to 0. So we're going to jump back to 0. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and log in with this new user. Okay, so we need to create the new email, funny game, and we want to send it to this. If you remember, we're saving it over here. And then, so we're back on our shell. So we're going to put that in here. Once again, port 1222. And then we're going to go ahead and send that. So once again, we have another R shell. We're going to go ahead and delete that. Alright. So we're going to come back here, go to our R shell targets. So now you see we got the new target right here, the 10027. So we are going to jump to 4. And just like that, we're on the computer that we are looking for. So let's go ahead and printfs, and then we can see all the files. So the client wants us to delete the file. So you can see I'm willing to bet this is the file right here. And so we're going to go ahead and copy that, and we can just, if we don't want to get into the File Explorer, risk the admin monitor again, we can just do remove, and then we can just do this, paste the path, hit that. Deletion was successful. Let's go ahead and send this off. The customer is satisfied with the job, and we're done with that level 3 job. Made our money. So let's go ahead and corrupt our logs. And once again, if you want, you can take the money from the banks, but that's it for this job. Thank you for joining me, and have a good day.